I was put in a situation where my dad lost his job and my mum was in a really bad financial situation. This brought a lot of problems in their marriage and it brought a lot of negativity to my household. It was something that was very hard for us to overcome, to handle, and I could see that it was taking its toll on my family. Because of that, I was looking for a way out for my family, and a door was opened for me where the church was giving out a bottle of oil. I thought to myself, how is this oil going to transform this situation? How can I use my faith to see a difference in my family? So what I did is I decided to anoint the pictures of my family. Because my dad wasn't in the country at the time, I anointed the pictures of both my mum and my dad together. I anointed my mum's pictures, my dad's pictures, and I determined that through using my faith, something was going to happen, a difference was going to be made. And to my surprise, literally in that week, within about 2 days, my dad had got a better job in a bank, and my mum had received a lump sum of money. To be honest, I was really shocked because God really answered my prayer, just using my faith through the oil. So I'm really excited to receive another bottle of oil and to see more results from using my faith.
Hello, a very good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. Now, if you're watching me now, chances are that there are things that have happened in your life that you've had no control over. And we have an input into the things that happen around us, actually some things. But some things are out of your control, and when those things happen, people tend to say, this is not fair. For example, it's not fair that some people grow up with the two parents. I mean, it's fair for them, it's great for them, but while others don't have anyone. I mean, it's not fair that some people grew up without a father figure, without a mother figure, or even worse, without both. It's not fair that in this country we have so much abundance and sometimes we even waste food, while other countries sometimes struggle. People struggle to get by. That's not fair. It's not fair that some people are so healthy while others, they have health, but they damage their own bodies, their own health by the things they eat, sometimes by doing terrible things to their own body. And the thing is, we know that life is not fair. The question I want to ask you tonight, though, is how do you deal with that? What are you going to do about it? Because you can usually have the way of thinking that, this is my life, these are the cards I've been dealt with and I can't do anything about it, so I might just mope around and complain about it. Or you can try to make a lemonade if life gives you lemons. I think that's how they say it, right? So you can try to do that, and that's the kind of attitude that changes lives. But perhaps you've had your fair share of bad news. Actually, I have here with me today a guest who is more than a guest. She'll be here in the show with us from now on every evening, and her name is Esther. How are you, Esther?
Hello everybody at home. I'm doing very well, thank you, Pastor James.
So it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, we were just talking about life being fair or not being fair, and some people might say, look, I know that bad things happen sometimes, but to me, it's happened a lot. It's too much. Yeah. I mean, how should people deal with that? What do people do in that situation?
Well, I think it's fair to say that a lot of people think that they're given the short straw. They're like, this is my life. I haven't been given those things that everybody else has been giving. But actually, it's maybe just too easy to blame things outside of yourself. And today, we'll be examining, we'll be going internally and seeing what you can do if you think your life isn't fair.
Yeah. And actually, if things are not going well, and if people say, look, this is not fair, if you just complain about it, it doesn't actually change anything, right?
No, doesn't do anything, doesn't do zip. You've got to make changes if you think your life isn't fair, and you can't hold yourself back, because you will end up being your own worst enemy, and nobody wants that.
Absolutely. And there are times that complaining does work. right? If you go somewhere, you go to a restaurant, you go, I don't know, to a shop, and you feel you were unfairly treated, and you complain to the management, that's the right thing to do. You're going to get, you know, an apology or a voucher, I don't know, a free meal. But with life, is not like this. You have to take the bull by the horns, even when things go wrong, even when things are not fair. And I know that maybe you're watching me now, and you know, maybe things haven't been going well for you, and you feel so down, so sad. We're going to tell you tonight how things can change. And actually, we have someone here with an amazing story. Before that, I want to show you this video that will illustrate what should be done when life is not fair, when things that are not fair happen to you.
What is there to say about a life unlived? A life seized. A child torn from his mother. Held captive for crimes uncommitted. What does it take to repair a wounded soul? Eyes that have been scorned, a brain that has been engraved. The pain is real, and these sleepless nights do exist. I was 16 the day my life changed for the worst. 16 when I became a product of the penal system. 16 when I was wrongfully accused of rape. 16 when the courts tried me as an adult. My final day of freedom, I was 16. I left behind my mother, a beautiful mother of 3, my football team, and a childhood dream. Shackled, caged, and alone, I was judged. I was a day into 18 when I first stepped foot in prison. A world of darkness and violence, pain and loneliness. I'd often ask, how did I get here? I'd often ask, is there a way out? I'd often think, man, I just want to go home. I was 22 when I first saw freedom again. I had spent 5 years and 2 months locked away. My days now monitored, a GPS tracking device strapped to my ankle. And I'm expected to find work and live a normal life. I'm also expected not to live within 2,000 feet of any school or park and register as a sex offender. This is my life. Until now. My name is Brian Banks, and I was wrongfully accused of a crime I didn't commit. 10 years later, after serving time in prison and on parole, I've been given a second chance at life. With my accuser coming forward, revealing the truth about what really happened that day, a glimpse of light shined over me. My passport out of hell. I've struggled, I've feared, I've cried, I've persevered. With blood, sweat, and tears, I survived. And with the help of some beautiful people, I fought and won. This is my story.
You see that what happened to him wasn't fair. He was wrongfully accused of rape, and he, like he said in his own words, he went through hell because of that for a while. But he decided to fight back. And this is what we're all faced with. I mean, what do you do if you are in that situation? You know, you don't have many choices available. You perhaps have a couple of choices. What do people do, Esther?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brian was at the crossroads there. He could have gone one way or the other, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he took that initiative. he made the choice to go the way that he thought was right. And we haven't seen him completely on his journey. I'm sure there was some peaks and some lows. But yeah, you decide for yourself which way you're going to go and how you're going to react to something so terrible.
Yeah, and certainly the wrong choice is to do nothing, to sit there and say, you know, this is horrible, look at my life. That never changes anything. And perhaps sometimes one small decision, a decision which may seem insignificant, which some people may say, you know, is that really going to change your life? That one decision can set you on a new path, on a new course. And listen, I agree with you. Life is not fair. Maybe the things that have been happening to you are not fair. Maybe you're a dedicated wife and you've dedicated, you know, years of your life to this person that you loved and you were betrayed. How can that be fair? It's not fair. Maybe you are a dedicated mother and you sacrificed your own life to raise that child, and then you were perhaps treated really badly by this child. And of course, mother's love are unconditional, but still it's tough. Maybe you gave years of your service to a job that just let you go just like that. And yes, life is not fair, but things can change. That's what I'm here to tell you tonight. If you would like to speak to someone who will encourage you, who will pray for you, who, you know, will tell you that things can change and give you some motivation, then the number to call is 020-7686-6300, 020-7686-6300. Or you can call us, or you can send us an email to info@findinganswers.tv. That's info@findinganswers.tv. When those emails come through, we'll get Esther to read them.
Absolutely.
And you know, we'll try to answer them here. And later on in the show also, I'll have Pastor Alvaro here with me, who will be making a prayer on your behalf. So if you want to speak to someone, give us a call now. We're here to help you. After the break, we'll come back to speak to Pamela, who has an amazing story, and also her life. Things happened to her where, you know, it wasn't fair. But what can you do? She fought back and she changed her life. Don't go anywhere.
When we want to reach our goals, we research, act, and make sure we know everything there is to know about that topic. We study hard because that is the intelligent thing to do. This is the same for our development as a Christian. The Faith School is designed for those who want a degree in spiritual growth, those who want to separate time to study the Holy Bible and follow God's path for their life. There is no admissions fee and it's suitable for every level of learner. You will learn how to interpret the Word of God for your daily life and become stronger internally. Do you want to find inner peace and spiritual strength? Then this course is for you. The Faith School, every Wednesday at your local UCKG Help Centre. For more information, call 020-7686-6000 or visit our website uckg.org. For thousands of years, olive oil has been used for anointing as an act of faith. When you use the blessed anointing oil, it's like turning on a beacon of light and sending out an SOS signal for divine intervention to resolve issues that you otherwise couldn't solve on your own. It's a sign to God that you require special attention in a time of need. Join us on 3 special days where you'll not only receive your very own set of 3 anointing oils in a box set free of charge, but you will learn how you can use them for inner healing, protection, and direction. For more information, visit uckg.org or give us a call on 020 7686 6000.
Just a correction to the email we gave earlier. It's help@findinganswers.tv, not info. I think I said info without even realizing I said it. So it's help@findinganswers.tv. And going back to what we were saying about, you know, life not being fair, why is this happening to me? Sometimes the answer, or rather the question, is not why, but how. Not why is this happening to me, but how will I solve this problem? Sometimes why can help, but certainly when things that are out of your control can't help or happen to you, and you know there was nothing you could have done, but you just feel that it's not fair. Sometimes the question is not why this is happening, but how I can get out of this situation. That could be something that can help. Now, I want to introduce you to Pamela, who's here in the studio with me, and she's going to be telling us her amazing story. How are you, Pamela?
I'm fine, thank
You
you.
okay?
Yes, I'm
Pamela,
fine.
you had a lot of things that happened to you that we could say it wasn't fair.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
But tell us your story from the beginning. What started happening to you?
Okay, my story is, as growing up as a child, it was very hard because I came from a broken home, and it was my mother that had to bring us up, 6 of us, and it wasn't easy at all. And as well myself, getting married as well, and I went through such a hard time in my marriage with my husband. And
how old were you when you got married, if you don't mind me
I
asking?
was 16.
16?
Yes, I was 16.
And I thought I got married young. I thought I was 21, but 16 when you got married.
I was 16, yeah.
Do you think that that's a good age for people to get married, 16?
No, it isn't. No, it's
too
not.
Young.
Yeah, it's too young, yes. Because my mother did her best. She did everything she could for us. But growing up without a father was very difficult. And we kind of went the wrong way, and, you know.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened to your dad?
Well, well, from back home, he came to England and he kind of left us, abandoned us.
That wasn't fair.
That wasn't fair at all.
That wasn't fair on you guys, right? Because he left you all alone there. So that was one of the things that wasn't fair. Then you got married at 16. I mean, you got married because you really loved this person, or for you was a way out of...
It was a way out for me, yeah, because I was going through a lot as I was growing up, and many things happened in my life that wasn't fair at all as a child, you know. And so the only way that I could get out of this situation was I met someone, and I thought, right, this was my only way out. And when I met this person, it was like coming out of a, you know, a broken home and going, it was a violent relationship that I went through with him. And
was it violent from the beginning?
No, at first it was okay, you know, because I was with him and looking at him like a father figure, and it was like comfort for me.
How long did you have of a good marriage before things went bad?
To be honest with you, it wasn't that good, you know, because he started controlling my life, and he was very demanding, and he was being very abusive towards me, and I just needed to get out. Although I spent 7 years in this marriage, but throughout that 7 years, it was 7 years of hell for me again.
But here's the thing. We've had your sister on this show before.
Yeah.
right? And your sister went exactly through the same thing, almost the same thing. Am I right?
That's right, yes.
That wasn't fair.
No.
I mean, you were young girls looking, for happiness. You wanted to be happy. You saw this relationship. You really liked this person. You thought this is my chance of being happy, and that turned sour. I mean, that marriage lasted 7 years. When that marriage ended, who were you? Who was Pamela? What did that marriage do to you?
Again, Pamela became angry, even more angry, not having a father figure there, growing up. And being in a marriage now, it made me even more angry. So I was still carrying anger inside of me. Now this time I became a person that wanted to take revenge now because of what I went through. So everybody that I ended up meeting, it was like I wanted to hurt them because of the hurt that I felt inside of me.
Was it like you wanted to hurt them before they had a chance to hurt you?
That's right, yes.
Right. You didn't really get to explain to us about the severity of the problems in the marriage, because you said he was controlling you. What sort of things happened while you were in
he
the
was
marriage?
controlling my life. Like, for instance, whenever I used to go, if I go to work, I come back and he would like check me, like if I'd been smoking or, smell me and things like that. And if there was something that he didn't like, he would slap me around. And
He would slap you?
Yes, he was very abusive, violent towards me.
That wasn't fair.
No.
And let me just stop you there, because these are the things that are out of your control. I mean, maybe you say, look, it was in her control to leave, but it's not that simple. You're in a relationship. When he slapped you the first time, did you think, that was a one-off, it's not going to happen again? Why did you stay there?
At first, it was like, when he slapped me, I don't know, because I was so young, I thought, because he cares about me, this is why he did that.
So you thought he hit you because he cared about you?
He cared about me, yes, yeah. And I just left it thinking, he cares about me, that's why he's hitting me. But as time went by, the hitting got even worse and worse and worse.
What was the worst thing that he ever did to you?
He took off his shoe and he hit me so hard on my knees. And he used to hit me with the belt as well. Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Terrible, and again, not fair.
No.
Could I?
Right? Yes.
Sorry, Pastor James. Could I interrupt, Pamela?
Yeah.
So you said you pretty much went from a broken home to a broken and abusive relationship.
Yes, that's right.
Did you think that you were going to be helped? Did you think it was going to be better at the start of this relationship?
I did, yeah. At first I thought it was, it was exciting because I found somebody that could make me happy and have a home, a family of my own. But little did I know that I was going into like disaster marriage. Yeah.
So, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, because you mentioned revenge. Revenge is a defense mechanism that a lot of people use when they feel that life isn't fair, something's been done to them. Did you want to take this revenge out then on all the people that you would meet?
I did, yes, I did, because I was so angry inside. And to me, I felt like, every guy that I'm going to meet is going to be like this.
Right.
I didn't know any difference because I was so angry.
Did you have anybody at the time to help you or to...
No, I didn't. When I was in that marriage, I was so scared that I didn't tell anybody, until one day he hit me in front of my cousin. And then it was my cousin that saw what was going on, and then she said, Pam, that you don't need to stay in this marriage. I can help you to get out now because this guy's going to kill you. And that's what kind of triggered it off, that I need to get out,
So when you left the relationship, you said you were very angry. I also have here in my notes that you struggled with depression.
I did,
right?
yes.
How bad was the depression?
It was very bad. It was the anger brought a lot of depression on me because when obviously I had 2 kids, and I was young, and all I remember is one day that he came home and he said to me, that he had met somebody, and he said to me, he gave me an ultimatum because the house that we had, I bought it, although I was very young, but I still managed to buy a house. And he said to me, I'll give you an ultimatum. You either keep the house or take the kids. And that to me, take the house, at that time. All I remember is taking a black bag with my clothes, take my kids, I was gone.
And forgive me for laughing. I was just laughing because it sounds so absurd. Not to belittle what you were saying, but it really sounds absurd. But you going through that depression, going through, I mean, did you try to go into other relationships? Did you try to be happy, or you were just trying to hurt those people before they hurt you? Did you still believe you could be happy?
No, I didn't believe I could be happy, because going through what I went through, I mean, first at home, then the marriage, I didn't think there was any happiness out there. You know, I thought, right, it's always going to be like this. What is happiness? Because I didn't know happiness. I've never known like happiness in my life. It's always been a struggle for me.
Did you have any other long-term relationships after that?
I did, yes.
Great relationship?
No.
No?
No.
How did that go for you?
It's been disappointments. Disappointment after disappointment for me, you know? And I never believed that happiness existed. And the only thing that used to make me happy was when I was with my friends, and you know, we would have a drink, have a cigarette, and have a laugh, and that was it. That was my happiness. And obviously my kids, you know, and that was it.
That other relationship you had, was that also abusive?
Yes, that was abusive as well.
Physically as well?
Yeah. No, it wasn't physically, it was mentally.
Right.
Yeah, mentally, because this one, he was, in one way he was okay, but in the other way, mentally, he destroyed me, because he used to like a lot of women. You know, at first I thought, okay, I found somebody else that's going to look after me this time. He's going to take care of me. And I told him about my past life, you know, thinking that, okay, he's going to understand and he's going to help me through this. But no, at first he did. He helped me. But as time went along, he started putting me down in a different way, in a way that I felt insecure, you know, because we would go out and he'd be looking at other women, and that made me feel small. Like, okay, my God, you know, I'm not any good. I'm ugly, you know. You know, if he's doing that, that's making me feel like, what is these women thinking about me?
But here's what I want to ask you. You, with so many negative things happening to you, because a lot of people say, look, why is this happening to me? Why is that happening to me? Who did you blame? I mean, did you blame God? Did you blame, you know, bad luck? I mean, who did you blame for all these things that happened to you? Or did you blame anyone?
At that time, I didn't think much of God, because I didn't know him. I didn't know God at all. I was angry with life itself. I was just angry with life. Why is life like this? You know, what's the point of living? You know, why did God, in one way I said, I remember saying, why did God put me on this earth for? Was it to suffer? I'd rather not been born. That's how I felt.
So you got to the point of thinking, look, maybe God put me here to suffer.
Yeah, I did.
Which is not true.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear the change in your story. And the change in your story is the proof that God did not put you or anyone here to suffer. Now, we're going to go into a break in a few moments, and I want you to think about the following point. That if you are going through a situation similar to what Pamela was going through, and you know, Pamela, your situation was very hard. It's hard for us to hear what you went through. But there are people out there who are going through things that are even worse. And you know, we can't say that your problem is not as bad as their problem, because for us, our problems are always bad. But on paper, there are people that their stories are even worse to read, to hear than yours. And if you're going through something like this, I know that you may be saying, it's not fair, you know, why is this happening to me? What do I do? You know, is this what God has planned for me? The answer is no. He has a better life for you. And if you feel that you're completely alone, know that there are a team of people here ready to speak to you. If you want to speak to us, then the number to call is 020-7686-6300. We're going to go into a break. When we come back, we'll be hearing what the people in London have to say about life. Is it fair? We'll be right back.
How do you heal the wounds of a broken soul? Let us help you. What would you do if you had to protect a great treasure? If the answer is obvious when it comes to material wealth, it should be even more obvious when the treasure is greater: your marriage. In Bulletproof Marriage, the couple Renato and Cristiane Cardoso offer solid guidance to those who appreciate the value of their relationship and want to shield it against the risk of divorce. Besides their years of counselling thousands of couples, Renato and Cristiane present the hugely successful TV show The Love School, as well as marriage courses around the world. In over 2 decades, they have lived in 3 countries and have given hundreds of talks in more than 30 countries. Speaking from their long and sometimes troubled marriage experience, the couple offer practical tips to protect current and future relationships. To order your book online or for more information on the Love School event 2014, visit our site, theloveschoolevent.com. This event was brought to you by the UCKG Help Centre.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000. Forgiving the person who betrayed you can be tough, and it can almost always leave a scar. The scar that remains from an abusive past can affect your future in so many ways. There are various forms of abuse, the seen and the unseen. We understand your pain because we have been through it ourselves. If you or someone you know is a victim of any form of abuse, help is available. Rahab, removing all hurt and abuse. We won't pretend it never happened, but our aim is to help you heal the wounds of the past so that you can build a happy future. We'll listen, we'll advise, we'll be your shoulder to cry on. It's free, confidential, and we're just a phone call away. For more information, call 0207 686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org/Rahab.
This is a very tricky one because
Hello, this is Esther Shepherd from Finding Answers on the Streets. Now today I'm in Camden, which is very, very busy, and we're talking to people about life. Is life fair? So let's go and find out what people think. Is life fair? What do you think?
I think it is. Yeah, I have every choice I can make.
Yeah?
So yeah.
I think it's fair, yeah. Well, I do believe in karma, and I think what you do in life is coming back to you sooner or later. Yeah, of course.
I think everything is about how you want to live it, because in this period of economical and social crisis, might be not that fair, but if you want to see it fair, you will build your life as if it is fair. So.
You can say in Denmark we have people who take care of other people. Yeah.
We have a very good system in Denmark. We take care of all of people.
How fair is life for me? It's fair, yes.
Sure, life is fair. Because it is what it is, and you make it yourself.
So do you believe that good things can happen to bad people and bad things can happen to good people?
Definitely.
Yeah, in a way. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. You could take cancer. Yeah, I think as last weekend I saw a little girl with cancer. That was hard to see because she was so small and she tried to be a good sister for her. Yeah, so that's not fair, I could see. But for us, we live good and as families, good.
Do you believe what goes around comes around? Do you believe if you do something good will happen to you?
Yeah, I do, definitely.
Do you practice this?
No, but I think about it.
Yeah, I think
also, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do slightly believe in karma. I think if you do something bad, at some point, something bad's going to happen to you.
You can never lose the hope, no? It's always hope in this world. It's the last thing you can lose, no? And yeah, I do believe. You know, it's lots of experience in people that is, you know, if you do good, somehow, sooner or later, it's going to come back to you. That's what I like to believe. Otherwise, it's too sad.
You see, most people say that life is fair, but usually people tend to say that when things are going quite well. Because when things go wrong, then you start thinking that life is not that fair, right? So Pamela, you were in a situation where pretty much everything was going wrong, right?
That's right.
How did things start to change for you? Where did the change come?
The change started happening when my sister invited me to come to the church. And at first I didn't want to come because I thought, oh God, again, you know, same thing, church. But coming to the church that I'm still coming up to now, I saw a difference there. I started learning. The first thing I learned is I started doing chain of prayers. Mm-hmm. And as I was starting to do these chain of prayers, I started in myself. I didn't need to depend on anybody anymore. It's like before I would to make myself happy, I needed to drink, I needed to smoke, or I needed somebody in my life to fulfill my life, and that made me happy, you know. But it turned out to be like a violent relationship over and over again, you know, or marriage. But coming to the church, it was a great difference because I learned to depend on myself. I started finding happiness in me. I started looking at myself and I saw, you know, somebody different, you know.
Were you, sorry to interrupt, were you ever told in the church, when you told the pastor your problems, for example, were you ever told, I'm sorry, that's just the way that life is. That's how things are. You need to take the rough with the smooth. Were you ever told things like this?
No, never.
What kind of things were you told? You came really feeling down, feeling like, you know, it's not fair. What made you feel like things could change?
I was encouraged in a way that, you know, there is a light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, you know. Life is not like that, the way that I've been, you know, life is the things that I've been going through, okay, yes, but there is a way out, you know, and I can better my life and I can make a difference. And which, yes.
You know, Pamela, some people think we are crazy. Did you know that? And I'll tell you why. Because no matter what people tell us, no matter how bad the problem is, we always say things can change. And people think we're crazy because of this. Because people think, look, certainly some things can change, but not everything. But no matter what people tell us when they come to church, we always say, listen, things can change. And they're going to change. And it's not fair. It may not have been fair, but you can turn your life around. And that's the kind of message you heard, right?
I'm here. And my life is turned around. You know?
How is your life today, Pamela?
Today I can say I can smile, you know. I can relax. I don't need to depend on a man, you know. I mean, one day if it happens. But, you know, now I see a different light.
You said if it happens, it happens. And my faith leads me to tell you, not if it happens, it will happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's the kind of thing people hear in the church when they come. We always say, yes, it will happen. Yes, it will change. Even if you say, yeah, if it happens, not if, it will. Right? It will, Pamela. And today, are you happy? Do you have your self-esteem back?
I am. I've learned to be positive. You know, this is one good thing. And like you said, I have my self-esteem. You know, and I'm happy. I've come to the church, I've learned to do chains of prayers, I've learned to better myself, and I've learned to depend on myself, and I've learned to also, you know, reach goals that I want in my life as well. And I can tell you today I'm happy. I'm no longer that sad person inside, you know.
Angry?
Angry. No, there's no anger inside.
Wanting to hurt men?
No, never. That's all gone.
Right.
That's all gone out of me. And to be honest with you, being here, it's done me a world of good. I'm happy, you know.
And this
I'm
is,
independent.
And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being on the show. I mean, you are the proof that even though when things that are not fair happen to us, things can still change. They can still become better. Now, I want to show you a short video of someone who overcame adversity. Someone who overcame, you know, things that happened to her that we would have normally said, it's not fair what happened to her. And I want to show you how she overcame that, because if Pamela could, if Brian Banks could, if this person could, this person you're going to watch now could, then you can as well. And straight after this, we're going to go into the break. After the break, what I want you to do, I already have here on the table my glass with water, and Pamela has hers as well. And after the break, I will have here a colleague of mine, Pastor Alvaro, who will be making a prayer on your behalf. I'll be here with him, and we want you to prepare a glass with water, because we will ask God to touch your life, to change things, that even the things that seem not to be fair to you, even those things can change. Believe that. We'll be right back.
How much of a say do we have in our own lives, and is life fair? There seems to be a lot of talk these days about what is fair. We may not have a choice about how we come into this world, but as we grow and develop as people, we shape our lives by the choices we make. Even in this somewhat fluctuating economy, we are surrounded by inspirational success stories. People who started their lives in one place and through love and determination created a full and meaningful existence. Dr. Maya Angelou, one of the most renowned and influential voices of our time, was one of those people. And today, we celebrate her life and her relentless spirit. Poet, novelist, teacher, actress, filmmaker, and civil rights activist, Maya published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, and several books of poetry, and was credited with a list of plays, movies, and television shows spanning for more than 50 years. Some might say the early life of Maya was indeed unfair. She experienced the brutality of racial discrimination. As a teenager, Dr. Angelou's love for the arts won her a scholarship to study dance and drama at San Francisco's Labor School. At 14, she dropped out to become San Francisco's first African-American female cable car conductor. She later finished high school, giving birth to her son, Guy, a few weeks after graduation. As a young single mother, she supported her son by working as a waitress and a cook. In 1960, moving forward, Dr. Angelou worked as editor of various publications in Egypt and Ghana. During her years abroad, Dr. Angelou read and studied continuously, mastering French, Spanish, Italian, and Arabic. While in Ghana, she met with Malcolm X and helped him build the Organization of African American Unity. And shortly after her arrival in the United States, Malcolm X was assassinated, and the organization she built with him, the Organization of African American Unity, dissolved, leaving her absolutely devastated. Published in 1970, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings was published to international acclaim and enormous popular success. The list of her published verse, non-fiction and fiction now includes more than 30 best-selling titles. In 1996, she directed her first feature film, Down in the Delta. In 2008, she composed poetry for and narrated the award-winning documentary, The Black Candle. Dr. Angelou has received over 50 honorary degrees and is Reynolds Professor of American Studies at Wake Forest University. Dr. Angelou's words and actions continue to stir our souls, energize our bodies, and liberate our minds. In her full life, Maya wrote staggeringly beautiful and inspirational poetry, leading us to believe that life can be fair as you make it. Here is an extract from one of her most inspirational poems. Startling Truth by Maya Angelou. When we come to it, we, this people, on this minuscule and kitless globe, who reach daily for the bomb, the blade and the dagger, yet who petition in the dark for tokens of peace. We, this people on this mote of matter, in whose mouths abide cankerous words, which challenge our very existence, yet out of those same mouths come songs of such exquisite sweetness that the heart falters in its labour and the body is quietened into awe.
All right, real quick. Here are 4 unrelated stories, all with a common bond. First, let's go back to November 20th, 1982. For the 85th time, Cal and Stanford are involved in a heated contest. After a wild game, Stanford, led by young John Elway, takes the lead with just 4 seconds left. The Stanford fans and band are already celebrating, and why shouldn't they? The game is over. One final play begins as Stanford kicks short to Cal. A mad scramble ensues. Laterals follow near tackles, then a blind over-the-shoulder lateral. A mad race to the end zone. Down goes the Stanford trombonist as the touchdown is scored. The unthinkable happens and Cal wins. As it turns out, it wasn't over. How about this one? Meet the Lilies, Russell and Terry. It's 2001. Their 10-year marriage has been a constant source of frustration. A vicious cycle of selfishness, fighting, and isolation has left them both exhausted, angry, and done. Never mind the vows. Never mind the 2 young boys. This one is beyond hope. This marriage is over. Following their divorce, Russell becomes a follower of Christ, and Terry begins to notice the transformation taking place in Russell. Hardened hearts soften. The relationship begins to heal. Forgiveness is sought and granted. In 2007, they remarry. The one that became 2 is now 1 again. Then there's Raylene Kuferschmidt. It's January 2008. Ray suffers a cerebral hemorrhage. Declaring her brain dead, the doctors remove her breathing tubes. Knowing that it's over, the hospital releases Ray to her family so she can be taken home to die comfortably. Meanwhile, Ray's family plans her funeral. But someone forgot to tell Ray that it was over. At home, Ray suddenly wakes up. She's checked again by her doctors, who cannot believe that she's still alive, much less alert and healthy. Funeral plans have now turned into vacation plans for Ray and her family. Logically devoid of hope, legally divorced, literally dead. Everyone thought it was over. It's not the first time. Flashback almost 2,000 years. A man claiming to be the long-anticipated Messiah is unfairly accused. Offered up to the lying crowds by a Roman official, the supposed Savior is flogged, mocked, tortured, and beaten. He is nailed to a tree and crucified. He dies and is buried. Hopes that he is the Messiah fade away. It is finished. Friends scatter. Disciples hide. Evil celebrates, and for 3 days, it is over. But on the 3rd day, there's an empty grave. Evil has lost its victory. Death has lost its sting. Suddenly, miraculously, the only thing that is now over is hopelessness. 4 stories, 1 message. It's not over, even when it's over.
Welcome back. Now, before we go to the prayer, I want to go to Alvaro, who's here with me, and he's going to be reading the mail of the day. How are you, Alvaro?
I'm fine, James. You were telling Pamela that there are people suffering even more than her. Mm-hmm. And James, I have here an email from George, and I can see that this man is suffering a lot. And I hope that you're watching now, George, because what I'm going to say to you is going to help you to overcome this situation. So George wrote here, I appreciate the insight this program provides, and although I agree with what has been said, I'm finding myself in a difficult place right now with my own belief. He's struggling with his faith. In my own life, I am at a personal crisis with the fact that I have now been through 18 major surgeries. I have knocked on death's door several times only to evade it. I have had several seizures as a result of the trauma I've been through. To be honest with you, I can't believe all of this has happened to me. I gave my life over to Christ. See, he's a believer. He gave his life to Christ when he was 19, when I was 19, and I understand that my life is now in him. But I do find myself asking, why?
And it's like we were saying earlier, sometimes why doesn't actually solve the problem, is asking how.
Exactly, and the how we're going to say in a few moments. And to finish here, what good is coming from all of this suffering? He's confused, frustrated. I'll be honest with you, I have never even spoken about the great trial of my life on a public platform before today. Any insight or wisdom is appreciated. Thank you for your time. Well, George, I can imagine your suffering. And not only your suffering, but I believe that there are many people right now asking this question, why? Why is this happening to me? If I believe in God, why is my life so chaotic? Well, many years ago, James, I and George, everyone who is watching, I asked this question, why? And I was really angry because I was believing God. I was, doing what I thought was right. I wasn't a bad person, and I was helping people. And my mother was dying with incurable disease. My father lost everything, his company. He started drinking and, became an alcoholic. My sister became a drug addict. So my family was a total mess.
And that wasn't fair.
That wasn't fair at all. And I got angry at God. I said, God, why did you let this happen? Why is this happening? And look how amazing. At that time, my father, he was planning to kill the whole family because we had accumulated a huge amount of debt, and he didn't want to die, kill himself and leave the debt behind. So he wanted to kill all the family and then kill himself.
And this was all before you came to God, right?
Before I came to God, exactly. A friend of mine, look what happened. And George, and everybody who is watching now, you who are asking why, you who are frustrated, you who don't know what else to do. So a friend of mine invited me when I was there saying, why, really angry at God. And when I came to church, all my questions were answered. I understood why my life was a mess. And not only that, I learned what I had to do, James. I learned something vital to turn my life around. And this is what I want to share with you, George, and everybody who is watching now. Especially you who are saying there, why is my life a mess if I believe in God? So pay close attention. It's written, the Word of God says like this, submit to God. In other words, we have to surrender our life to God. That's what George did. That's what you did, George. Surrender your life, obey God. But now, there comes the second part of the verse. And do what? Resist evil. In other words, fight. Don't ignore it. That's what many people do. They ignore it.
It's like,
and their lives don't change.
It's like we were saying at the beginning of the program, that you can say it's not fair why this is happening, or you can fight back.
Exactly.
And that's
the advice we give to you, George, and everybody who is watching. That's what I did, James. I'm so confident that it works. When you fight, when you use your faith.
You're so confident that you're going to make the prayer here tonight.
I will.
And I have to cut you there because we are running out of time.
Great, no problem.
But this is the confidence we have. It's like I was saying to Pamela.
Yes.
Not if one day I find someone. You will. We are so confident in the God we believe in that we believe everything can
James,
change.
can I just ask one thing from George?
You have 20 seconds.
20 seconds, George. Listen, call me now. And whoever is watching there and you are desperate, you are frustrated, you don't know what else to do with your life, you even say, why is God allowing this to happen? Call me now, I'm here live and I want to talk to you and show you what you have to do, because what I did worked for me. And I want to give you the advice. And not only this, we're going to pray right now for God to give you strength to fight. Maybe you don't want to fight, but you're going to have the strength now. And also, we want to talk to you and teach you how to fight. The line is open now.
That was 30 seconds, but
sorry about that.
I'll forgive you. So if you have your glass with water, prepare yourself now. Let's talk to God.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like a prayer for your general well-being, send your name and prayer request to prayer@findinganswers.tv.
My God, I know that right now there are people like George, frustrated, angry maybe at you because of the way their lives are, and even saying, this is not fair. My God, I know that this is not a coincidence. This person who is watching this program, who is listening to this prayer, I know that you want this to happen because you want to give her strength to fight. And not only this, you want to change her situation. And this is what I want, my Lord. All those who are listening, all those who are now holding this glass of water in their hands, to be free like one day I was set free. Pamela was delivered as well. And I ask you that the same may happen to these people. My God, if there is anyone who is feeling weak, may you put your power in this water. When this person drinks this water, may you strengthen this person, renew her strength to fight, to resist evil. And I believe that once she does that, he does that, his life is going to change. Bless these people, my Lord. Bless all those who are now watching us. Let their lives be turned around. I determine, my God, that they will see great results from now on. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let's drink the water now.
I'm afraid we've run out of time, but we're going to keep the phone lines open for another, 10, 15 minutes. If you want to speak to one of us, he will be here. And remember, yes, there are things that are not fair. However, if you decide to fight back, it's only a matter of time until things change for the better. Okay, it's been a pleasure to be with you. We'll be back again with you tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful night. May God bless you.